Hey, another video today. So many people have come back to me and asked me, who is Pauline? And I've sat back and asked myself, who is Pauline Warui? First and foremost, I'm a mother. I'm an accomplished career woman. I have done my very many years in the employment space, in entrepreneurship. But more so, pertaining to who I am is really what drives me. And I hear this question, people asking about this question and saying, what drives you? Nothing in specific apart from my determination to do well in whatever I choose to do. Young people come to me and they tell me, how did you make it in your career? How are you able to move from a small job all the way to bigger jobs? And well, I'd say my first thing was, I'm a child who was trained by teachers, so discipline was the first thing I was taught. I was taught to conform with the rules. I was taught to follow the rules, and for sure I followed the rules, and so everything started falling into the boxes. The other thing that I would say that has driven me is my go-getting attitude. I want to achieve more. I want not just to achieve more for myself, but I want to do better in anything I touch. I've been in employment. I remember my first job, I was employed by a high commission called Bangladesh. And I only got this job not because of my university degree, but I got this job because when I was in university, I did other extracurricular activities. I was able to do typing, I was able to do shorthand, I was able to train myself from a note typewriter so I could type very fast. And I inherited my first job from my younger sister given the job market that was there. What that means is that my degree at that moment was not my driving force. My driving force was there was an opportunity, I had to put my foot in, and putting in my foot, I was able to consolidate the little knowledge I had and build myself. And so I did very well at the Bangladesh High Commission. I remember when I left and I got myself an administrative role in another company, the High Commissioner literally sent his car to look for me. And I think for me, that gave me the belief that there was something that I had, and I had applied so well that actually a High Commissioner could say, I want that little girl back. Never mind, I'm not that little anymore. But that gave me confidence. And when you do good and you work well, confidence comes in. And this is a trait that you must work very hard to get. Because when you're confident, you are also entrusted with bigger things. You even trust yourself. You believe in yourself to do even much more. And that also propelled me to take up a sales job. I had never sold anything. Here I was doing administrative work, and I got an opportunity when the company closed down and I was struggling with my young child. I took up a sales job because, like I said, do not discriminate jobs. Take what there is, make the best out of it, unless you have become the professional that you are. And I took up a sales job, and I remember selling pagers. I don't know how many people can relate with what a pager is. All I remember is that I used to be on telephone, and the one thing I would say, my name is Pauline Warui, and I would like to interest you with the pager. It is a one-way communication system that ensures you get your messages when you're out there in the field. And I did well. I did so well that when cancer came in, someone called me, and when I did my interview, I went in and I started my career in what is called customer service, what has evolved more into a big role of customer experience. And from there, I built a career out of customer service. And when I went to Cancel, I learned a lot. I learned about GSM, I learned about phones, I learned a lot of things that were not in this country then. We were the first to get phones through the masses. I learned a lot. I grew through my career. I worked hard. And beyond that, despite growing very fast, when an opportunity came knocking, I weighed the options. I had very many options. I remember from Cancel then, now moved on to Celtel. I was supposed to go to Zambia to become a customer care manager there. I remember at that moment I lost my mother, and I knew one thing at that point. There are times that comes when you have to make decisions pertaining to career or to family. Looking at Zambia, I looked back and I was like, no, let me stay in this country because my family needs me as a firstborn. I need to guide my sisters and my brother so that at least we can be able to stay together during difficult times. And these are some of the decisions and some of the things that have changed the course of my career. After that, I got an opportunity and I was called by a recruiter, and I got myself to the oil industry, which I knew nothing about. I always remember getting in, and the first thing I kept hearing was AGO, LPG, acronyms that I did not even understand. And I worked very hard, and I would sit with a friend of mine, sometimes like a guy called Michael, and he'd explain to me, oh, LPG is gas, AGO is diesel, so stop panicking, just learn. And one of the things that I've always said then, to achieve in your career, you must keep learning. You cannot stop. You must keep learning. You must keep feeding yourself with more information. You must learn about the markets around you. You have to keep learning despite the area you are in. Don't say, oh, I'm only in customer service, I don't need to learn that. If you don't even know the name of your CEO, which is happening today, and somebody asks you a question pertaining to the organization, the structure of your organization, what markets you are playing in, and you can't answer because you predominantly are in another department, then you will never be able to grow because people will not listen to you. You do not become an authority in anything. And so I did well. I did well in oil. I learned about oil. I managed customer service for East Africa and Egypt. And then a friend of mine called me and told me, oh, another company, Safaricom, is looking for someone to run their customer service. And I took up the position where I fairly did okay. I did well. 7 years down the line, that was my career. What drove me through this? Number one, I said, is determination. Determination to do well, determination to do my job the way it had been prescribed to me, and more so, my capability to be able to network with people and be a people person. A person who is able to inspire others to do well, a person who is able to talk to people, understand the concepts, and move on with that. Has it been easy? No. There are bumps, particularly when you're a lady. And many young women come to us, older ladies, and they ask, how did you do it? How did you juggle family? How did you juggle with children, a child or with children? How did you manage? I was a mother, and some of the questions people would ask me is, do you have any regrets around this? Number one, there's one thing I'll always tell younger people. Family, family, family comes first. Why? At the end of it all, you will go back to your family, and like we say, the only legacy you have is your children, is the people who are with you, is what you have created, and what you want to see growing as you grow older. Jobs, we have had many, we'll still have others, but the reality is, if you do not nurture the family aspect, then you'll have a lonely end. When you die, they will never come and ask. Pauline had so many buildings in the middle of the city. Pauline had so many other cars. The only thing they'll ask, where is Pauline's family? Who is Pauline's family? At the graveside, nobody will ever ask about what you own. It is really the people around you and the effect you have had with them. So the other thing that I talk about as part of my experience is that when you're in employment, you see things from a very different perspective. Your life rotates around the job. You wake up very early in the morning and you get back home, and all you think about is work, work, work. I'll tell you, when you're out of work and when you're out there, you realize there's a whole other world where you can actually see different things, different perspectives, other than the organization that you work for. What does that mean? It means that you do not have to kill, you do not have to step on other people, you do not have to fight to actually be better than anybody else in your organization. Sometimes I do consultancy, and when I walk in, I listen to people in the organization fighting each other, cutthroat. And when I look back at my career, I ask myself, what are these people fighting about? Because the reality is that if everybody did their job well, and they did it to the satisfaction of whoever is supervising, then there's enough for everybody. There is space for everybody. And for today, that was Pauline's take. Subscribe and hit that bell so that we can spread the word and share.